Hi, everybody. Welcome to Business Bites. I hope everyone is having a fantastic Wednesday so far. And I'm very excited to see everyone joining us today for another awesome speaker discussion. This Business Bites is special because it marks our 20th session, and we are so grateful to be building this community with all of you. For those of you who may not know, my name is Nathan, and I am with HanaHaus here in Newport Beach. If you see me around, feel free to say hi. And as a quick background, Business Bites is a collaborative virtual series hosted by Honest Access and HanaHaus. If you're not familiar, Honest Access is an innovation consulting firm based in Southern California. And HanaHaus is a flexible co-working space and cafe with locations in both Palo Alto and Newport Beach. Now today, I do encourage you all to use the chat feature at the bottom to engage and ask any questions throughout the session. As a reminder, this session is being recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel and sent out via email. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to the amazing Shelly from Honest Access.
Thank you, Nathan. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our 20th Business Bites. This is so exciting. Thank you, Davina from Honest Access, for joining us today and helping manage the chat. I just want to express a moment of gratitude to HanaHaus, who suggested we partner together on this virtual Business Bite series back in 2020. So in July of 2020, during the height of the pandemic, HanaHaus and Honest Access had its very first session led by Honest Access leader Kelly O'Connell. And the topic was becoming future fit, professional development in a changing workforce landscape. That is a mouthful. But during that session, Kelly shared how the workforce is changing and what the future of work may look like. And we're absolutely still in that phase. And so if we fast forward to present times, there's really another timely topic that keeps coming up for us at Honest Access that we thought it would be great to share with all of you. And that's really, how do I build a product-focused organization? How do I continuously evolve to meet customer expectation and demand in this world that we're living in, which is constantly changing? So in today's session, we'll explore how to create a culture of innovation, a culture that's product-focused, and whether you're a product manager, a product leader, whether you're in HR, or whether you're just curious about this topic, I hope that you'll get value out of today. I'd love for this to be an interactive session. Tell us a little bit about where you're joining us from today, maybe post it in the chat. And feel free to turn on your video and engage with us. We'll have plenty of time for Q&A towards the end, and I'll be sure to leave you with some resources that you can enjoy or share with your team. Great. Joining from Irvine. Hi, friendly faces. Hello, Grace. Thank you for joining. Wonderful. I love seeing Anthony, some fans, some loyal followers of Business Bites and Honest Access, and some new faces as well. Remember, today is being recorded. And hi, Paula, thank you for joining. Wow, Nigeria, wonderful to meet you. Awesome. All right, well, we will get started. I love seeing all people from all over the world joining in. I'm going to share very briefly about my background and why this topic is important to me. So I started my career a long time ago in San Francisco in tech. And I started out as an engineer building products. And I never really questioned why I was building what I was building. I was basically handed specs from a product manager and told, this is what needs to happen. This is what the customer wants. As I grew in my career, I started to get more curious. I also learned I'm not the best engineer and I'm better working with people. I moved into a product management role and program management. And we're going to talk about the differences a little bit later, because becoming a product organization is really about the customer versus getting projects out the door. So in my work today, I'm very passionate about helping organizations learn what product management is so that their entire team is effective. I spent my career mostly on the engineering side, but really that's just one view. Taking it another level, looking at it from the leadership team, the C-suite, and how they need to be thinking about what product means to their organization. That's what we're going to talk about. So in today's topic, we're going to cover a few different areas. And one of them is really the role of product and the role of a product manager. Then we'll move into a little bit of how an organization can think like a product-focused organization and why an organization may want to move in that direction. Great. So I don't expect you to share in the chat something so private about your organization, but feel free to share with me directly, maybe a few adjectives that describe the state of product management at your company. Like, how do you think about it, or how does leadership think about it? It could be any words at all. Okay, I'm gonna get some words and then I'm gonna share them without mentioning names. These are great. Keep sending the private messages. Awesome. Okay. So I'm getting siloed, disconnected, unsure. Great. Very good. Well, what I want in today's conversation, as you think about what product management means to you, whether you're a startup founder or you're working in a larger organization that may not even have product management as a pure function, I think you're going to get a lot out of this as we'll talk through these things. All right. This is such a depressing slide, but there's actually a lot of positive around it. So Clayton Christensen, who is the late Harvard Business School professor, I absolutely love and highly recommend a lot of his work. He suggested that 95% of the roughly 30,000 new products introduced each year fail. That is not a great percentage. And Clayton's position is that you need to constantly innovate and improve over time, each year bringing new products to market. And if you're not doing that, there is a fear of being disrupted. What does that mean? We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but essentially, you will be eclipsed by another competitor. For example, you may go out of business. So what's interesting to me about this, if you really dig into the statistics around it, is that it isn't always the product itself that ends up failing. Not at all. A lot of times it's the circumstances around the product, the timeliness to the market, the expertise of the people involved in the launch. A lot of those factors are what contributes to a product not getting adopted or a complete failure. So I like to think about, a lack of methodology is one way, a lack of measurement, a lack of alignment. All of these things are aspects that fall into a leadership function of an organization. So whether you're a founder of a startup and your product is failing, you're the leader, there's something missing. There's something missing that you need to discover. And whether you're a C-suite executive, same thing. So any sort of leadership function needs to be thinking about what are the factors that will create product success. And these are just some common reasons that product teams fail. And I want to just take a moment and share that when you talk about developing products, most people say, well, you have to have ruthless prioritization, and you have to have a really good roadmap. Well, none of that works if you don't have a solid strategy. And there's a lot that comes with product strategy. So this overarching product strategy may be lacking. The product team themselves may feel disempowered. And one example of that is also another line item here on the slide, a lack of alignment with internal process, infrequent access to customers. In my experience as a product manager, we rarely got out of the office to meet with customers, and in certain instances of when I was working. In greater organizations or more successful organizations, we were always talking with customers, always talking with partners and with our customer success teams to really understand what was happening for those we were serving. So these are just common examples. And I want to share why you might want to develop a product organization. So a product organization, and one that avoids some of those common failures, is an organization that avoids what we call a build trap. It's basically churning out features, responding reactively to maybe what sales says is important. Product organizations really look at customer needs and they solve for their needs. They help their teams understand customer problems. And so I hope that's resonating for you. And I think no matter where you are in your organization, you've probably seen this occur, right? We're building, we're launching things, it's not selling. Why is this happening? So there's 4 main reasons why you'd want to develop a product organization. And the first is pretty obvious, right? I love this race car example, but staying competitive. So, staying competitive in the market requires that you put way more effort into communicating with your existing customers, and you have to reach out to new ones all the time. So it means you have to understand how to differentiate your offering amongst your competitors. And it means you know how to price your products in a way that creates value for your customers. So it requires that strategy for you to stay competitive. The next is you want to avoid disruption. We talked a little bit about this earlier. Common reason that products fail is disruption in the market. So disruptions are real threats to existing businesses. They occur in volatile markets like the one we're in right now. Blockbuster is a great example of this, right? We all know that story. We didn't move fast enough to keep up with moving from VHS tapes to, say, what we have today with Netflix, as an example. They didn't respond to market needs in a timely fashion. So, Blockbuster was a great company, though. So here we say, my gosh, even great companies can fail. And the key that differentiates the successful ones from the others is that they're always scanning the market for leading indicators about what's happening, and they're mobilizing their teams to be on the watch to do that. That's some great product organizations do that work all the time. Another reason to develop a product organization is to empower transformation. So I shared earlier, empowered product teams avoid the build trap. They are not churning out a bunch of features, but they're focused on solving customer problems. In doing so, they transform their relationship internally to their customers, to their partners, and their perception in the market is strong. And our 4th reason for creating a product organization is we want customer champions. Customer champions are created when an organization or a brand, they know their customers, they know what they need and want, they address their needs in a way that serves the customer, and it becomes a positive experience where the customer is a cheerleader and tells others about their positive experience, and it just builds. It's not easy to create customer champions. It takes time and effort. It takes an incredible amount of empathy, which is one of the key aspects of a human-centered design thinking process that a lot of great product organizations employ. And in most organizations that are thinking about their products as sort of the center of what's important, it is really the product manager that has this key role of leading the effort.